I knew it would be good. I had no idea how much I would love Journey Back to Christmas. If you put Candace Cameron, who I adore, in a Hallmark Christmas film, it's going to tick a lot of boxes. This film in particular is so beautiful and really quite important in a lot of the things that it does. But it's also great fun, really thought-provoking, and it just visually an absolute delight. So this was released in 2016. It is directed by Mel Damski and written by Maria Nation. And as I said, it stars Candace Cameron as Hanna. And I'm not going to give you any spoilers. But I will say expect miracles because it's beautiful. So the description from IMDb is as follows. A World War II era nurse is transported in time to 2016 and meets a man who helps her discover the bonds of family and that the true meaning of Christmas is timeless. Honestly, that whole true meaning of Christmas being timeless thing, I don't think that's what it's about. Maybe that's what it's intended, but for me, that's kind of not what I got. In fact, I got the opposite. I got the impression that it was trying to say that no matter what happens, life goes on, things change, but we're all the same people going through the same stuff, just our environments are slightly different. And I mainly got that from the hospital library thing and the house and organic foods, and that won't make sense if you haven't seen the film, but I strongly encourage you to see it. So this is, I think this is set in 1945, just after the war ends, and there's a storm, and Nurse Hanna finds herself in a barn sheltering for one reason or another, and when she comes to after the storm, she realizes she's in our contemporary society, and there are cars and, well, fancy cars and mobile phones, and fortunately for her, she befriends, or rather the character befriends her. Jake, a police officer, befriends Hanna and takes her under his wing while they try and work out if she has amnesia or concussion or is off her medication for something. Obviously, straight away they don't believe that she is a wartime nurse from 1945. I love the narrative. I love any film. I love time travel films where either a contemporary character is going back in the past or a previous character is going into the future. I don't care about time travel where it's further than we are. This is perfect. I love the way Hanna interacts with her surroundings. Candace Cameron has the best facial expressions, particularly when Hanna realizes that something has changed or it isn't where it should have been, because she's obviously in the same area, she's in the same part of the world, she's just in a completely different time. I love the way she interacts with Jake. I think their development as characters progress nicely together, and it doesn't have a predictable ending. With their character relationship, it's not predictable. Gwynyth Walsh is Gretchen. I particularly enjoyed for one reason or another. I don't know why. I just found that performance was particularly great. And Tom Skerritt as Toby, absolutely brilliant. You know, I didn't necessarily make those connections to begin with, but I think the way the character developed in her own surroundings, she became used to things at a quick enough rate that she wasn't kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. But she didn't, you get a lot of time travel films where somebody's been there for 2 hours and they're suddenly playing on a PlayStation. They adapt to it far too quickly to be believable. That's not the case here. Hanna is very wary of her surroundings, partly because things are different in terms of what's in the buildings, but also things like computers and CD players. She's very cautious about these things because they're completely foreign objects to what she knows. So I actually think they have the handling of it down very well. The costumes are amazing. I do have to say that when we spend time in 1945, it feels real. It's very warm and inviting. It's Christmas time. It's December. It's so beautiful to look at. I adore Ruffin. Ruffin is a lovely character, and part of me was a little bit sad when she came to 2016 because I didn't really want to leave the visuals of 1945 behind. But actually, it's Hanna's personality that really drives the narrative and makes it such a warm and comforting film. How it resolves itself, because obviously one way or another Hanna needs to work out why she's there, how she got there, and whether or not she can go back home. It's obviously not going to end on a cliffhanger. How that kind of resolves itself, and I won't go into, it's just not something that I was expecting, and I thought it was really lovely and very well handled. The last minute of the film, absolutely beautiful from start to finish. This is a gorgeous film. It's not at all what I expected. It's significantly better than what I expected. Obviously, I expect only greatness from Candace Cameron, and that's exactly what she delivered. I've watched quite a few films, Christmas films, this time of year because I subscribed to Hallmark TV on Amazon, and without a doubt, this is one of the best Hallmark films. It is also one of the most intricate, one of the most necessary, and one of the ones that will completely change your mind about a lot of things and make you feel so warm and fuzzy inside. It's absolutely magical.